Hey Aries, I'm Leona Nicole Black and this is your general tarot reading for June 2019. It says if you are Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, or you have Mars in Aries, this message is for you. Now, I don't normally do you might not feel like it's early because I've done a lot, but for me this still feels quite early, as in there's something about you where your energy doesn't really push itself onto me. So normally with the other signs I do their readings because I'm feeling their energy and I'm feeling this need to talk to them, but as impatient as you can be, your energy never pushes up on me, and I think that's why I end up kind of just leaving you to maybe one of the last 4 or 5. But today I was like, I need to do Aries. Even before Capricorn, I was like, I need to do Aries, and as I started pulling, it was like there is a spiritual initiation that you're going through, Aries, that is so beneficial to all of us, because what's happening is that there is a maturation you're experiencing where people are going to learn what and who you are and why. I think you've been taken for granted in the past. I think we haven't fully understood what Aries represents. We've seen you, I know people sometimes refer to you as like the baby or the child of the zodiac, or your typecast as kind of angry, impatient, go-girl. That's kind of your stereotype, but you are so much more than that. And unfortunately my magazine was on break when it was your season, when I would have really written about your energy. But I'm definitely coming to this deep understanding of Aries. Now I have my north node, so like the direction, the destiny of my life in Aries. So it's like the more I understand you, the better it is for me stepping into my purpose. And what it is, and the reason I need to do your work now, your reading now, is you are going to teach us to fight. You're going to teach us how to fight. And for the most part, there is so much avoidance at the moment, and so much fear of conflict, and fear of warfare, and fear of violence. And there's just all the other signs are like quaking in their boots. Maybe not Scorpio, but I'll check in with them later. But for the most part, everyone's like, oh, I don't want to deal with that. And you are the only sign who shows up for the fight willingly. You are the only sign, and for a long time you've been judged for it, you've been ostracized for it, or people enjoy it, right? Everyone likes, it's like I watch Love and Hip Hop. We're going to be here for a minute. This is going to be over 10 minutes, I'm telling you from now. So there will be a part 2. You can look for it on my IGTV. If you're watching this on Instagram, there definitely will be a part 2, and if you're watching it on YouTube, it's all in one go. So I watch Love and Hip Hop, and you know, I'm a Virgo, one of our most loved qualities is loyalty. I really like loyal people, and there's the dancehall artist Spice, who I really like, and she just backs it, man. Like Spice, and what's the other one? I've forgotten her name. Oh, I can't remember her name. The other girl, her and Spice got into it over the weight comment. Both of them just, if people are coming at their friends funny, they don't hesitate to fight, really. But there's something I love about it. It's the loyalty, but it's also like, we don't need to talk about this, like let's just handle it. And it's that's your energy, Aries. Like, you are quick to the fight, and so people enjoy having you around, because when they need protection, when they need defense, when they need someone to cuss somebody out, you're the one to do it. But at all other times, you may feel like people actually devalue you or push you aside, or when it's not in their favor, they don't like that quality from you. But we're all learning right now why we need to learn to use our tongue as a whip, why we need to learn to fight for and defend ourselves, and you are going to be helping us to master that lesson, Aries. So stay tuned. I can't wait to share more on this. So your first card, Hermit in reverse, Virgo, clarified by the 5 of Wands has strife. Okay, I mean, when I saw this card, it was like war ready to me. It was like, yeah, it's time to get to it. With the Hermit card in reverse, there's no more need for introspection for you, Aries. There's no more need for like weighing things up and trying to understand what's happening, because all it's going to do is, I'm looking for my, I don't know what I did with it. Oh, here it is. I'm looking for my selenite. And all it's going to do is make you turn your fiery energy in on yourself. You're going to create internal conflict, and actually you need to be able to go out and meet the conflict externally. So there's no more need for extended, prolonged periods of introspection. There are blockages, barriers, restrictions, places in your life where you're just being resisted. And it's not just you really are you're about to embody the warrior archetype in your life. For those of you who are tuned into my energy, who are doing the spiritual work, you're about to start fighting for many people, not just yourself. Now it's time for you to do this, to break barriers for the many, because you have the Magician card in reverse here, and I feel like maybe you've been holding back. Maybe you haven't been able to get certain things going. Maybe you've had ideas you haven't been able to take action on. Maybe there's just been some kind of delay here, Aries. But with the 10 of Pentacles, I love it. You've really got a special relationship with Capricorn. I say this every month. At some point, I'm going to elucidate and explain why. But this is Capricorn energy, and it's like you've needed the missing piece of the puzzle, which is the vision. That's why. Before, you were in a position to create or work or do stuff, but it didn't have much heart behind it. You could do it well, but you didn't necessarily understand the long-term vision, the long-term project, or the long-term outcome. So you may have been considering, like, do I take this path or do I take that path? And you have, maybe with the Magician card, this is actually about having choices and options here. And maybe you couldn't really pick between any of them because you just, you know, you're like, oh, well, one's good as good as the other. But with the 10 of Pentacles, it's catching the vision. It's like, oh, no, this creates strategic structural change. Like, this outlasts me. This project, this thing I'm going to do, this family I'm going to create will live beyond me. This will free generations. This will create new structures. Like, you're like, oh, no, this is the work with purpose. And now you can move because you've got 7 of Pentacles in reverse with the Fool card. I love it for you. The message really is that if you've been delayed, if you've been blocked, if things have been slow, they've not been happening for you, or you've been investing your time, energy and money in things that have not been growing, it's okay. That season is ending. You can let those projects go because you're about to start and embark on a new journey where you can really get your teeth in, where you can really get things popping, is the message here. Now, what I really love, and it really just matches why you're so special and so loved by God right now, because you've got the Emperor in reverse, which is your card, and I love when your card shows up for you, and you've got the Empress also in reverse, right, which is the counterpart, the partner. The divine lovers really here. This is God, God as divinity, God expressed through us here. Now, this is your card, Aries. This can be Libra or Taurus in terms of zodiac energy, but really we all hold all of this. What it is that there is a need to awaken and bring to conscious awareness these two personas, okay? And you are critical because you strongly represent one of them, but you are going to be igniting both. So there's something really special about Aries people right now, where you're going to be really important in pushing forward the concepts of the divine lovers and really expressing this renewal of God through the expression of humanity in terms of masculinity and femininity. Now, with the Emperor in reverse, it's clarified with the Prince of Cups here. So the way to turn this around, the way to really show up in your life as who you truly are, to gain your authenticity, your power, your structure, your foundation, your stability, is to allow yourself to be guided through the truth of the intuition and the emotional realm, right? Is to now marry that together. So you are impulsive. We know this. You are fire driven. But it's okay if your intuition is clear. It's okay to take action if it's on an intuitive message, and that's what you're repairing. Now it's not just the masculine being pushy, refusing to listen, creating things that doesn't benefit many people, and really pursuing egotistical vision in life. It's no longer that. Now, Aries, what you can embody is taking fast, swift, structured, strategic movement on God's plan. Really, that's what it is. Now, whilst you're doing that, you're also healing the internal feminine here, the Empress in reverse, because it's clarified by the Leo card. Remember I said there was no heart in it? Leo energy. Leo card here, Prince of Fire. And it is Leo and not you. And really here the message is that how you're healing your internal feminine and teaching us all to connect with our internal feminine is through the expression of your creativity. And really look at that. Just look, you got two princes together, fire and water here. This is you. This is what your work is this month and beyond. It's about marrying action with intuition. And as you do that, I love it. It is literally the expression of the Emperor and the Empress. And not only will you teach people to embody these energies externally, you will show up in the world as both of these things. And that's the goal. That's it. That's the goal. That's what God wants from us. So you are a blessed man. I'm telling you, there's something really, really special in the way that what we might call Christ consciousness, or there's a way that God is like making itself known, and it's really through your energy. It's because the Saturns are okay. We've got more Capricorn energy here. The Devil card is here, and I clarified it. And what do we get? Ace of Cups. There is a direct opposition to the expansion and the flowing of God's love. Okay, direct opposition. There is a blockage, a stopping, a plan to disconnect us from God's love. That's the ultimate sin, in my opinion. That's the ultimate sense of hell, separation. If we want to draw in the story of Jesus and the concept of him being on the cross, and he says, what? My God, why have you forsaken me? Separation from God is the intention of the lowest forces. That's what bondage is from us, our inability to experience love. That's what you're here to heal, because many of us have the seed of God's love right here in our bodies, in our hearts, in our lives, right? We're starting to nurture, we're healing, we're beginning to grow it. But as we do that, there's a need for this, and we won't. Many of us, let's be honest, it's wild for this woman is pregnant here. It's wild for pregnant women to be fighting. Like, nobody is like, yeah, go to war. Like, it makes no sense. Even when I watch Love and Hip Hop, and you know, certain people in pregnancies are putting themselves in some very precarious situations, and I'm like, and people are like, whoa, you're pregnant. Everyone knows like there's a certain level of protection you need. So of course you don't want to be in this energy, and that's where you come in, Aries, because in order to protect, if you see her, she's gone off into the woods to nurture this pregnancy and to give birth alone. In order for us to protect the birthing of God's love and God's purpose in our lives, someone needs to fight. Okay, someone needs to do it. Someone needs to be willing to say harsh words. Someone needs to be willing to draw these swords and chop these people in the background and be like, if you attempt to come any closer, try and come back here again. That's the energy, and it's yours. That's who you are. And so yes, you need to express that, but you also need to teach her to do this. You know, for those of you who watch Game of Thrones, it will be spoilers. I mean, you should have finished it by now. What I thought was wild is that Khaleesi, Queen of Dragons, whatever, I never really liked Daenerys. Her, all of these seasons being, oh, I'm the Mother Fire, Stormborn, whatever, I'm gonna take over the kingdoms and rule. And I'm like, why could she barely fight? Like, every situation, she was always being rescued by these external male figures. Right down to the last scene where Jorah is like fighting to the death, and she does take her sword and she's like, oh, chop, chop. But, you know, she's not an astute fighter. And that's the thing. On some level, yeah, maybe while you're pregnant, maybe while you're birthing, it's not the time to fight. But she needs these skills. Why? Because she's going to have to protect what she birthed. So you are also teaching her, you are both protecting and teaching her the skill of self-defense here. And it is self-defense because there are real attacks. What do we get? Knight of Cups in reverse. Clarified by the Devil. So Knight of Cups would be really the partner to this queen or this princess here. Offers of love, of support, gifts for a little bubba growing. This is generosity. This is romantic energy. This is all the things that she deserves as she is nurturing God's life within her. And yet it is matched here. More opposition. Devil cards out twice in this reading. There is so much spiritual opposition. When I was recording the class this morning for Divine Lovers, if you knew the technological disruption that was happening, I got the message out anyway. But all I'm saying, Aries, is it's time for you to join the front lines. Like, you gotta be war ready, because there's a real battle here now. Whew. And I'm going away with my Aries friend soon, and I can't wait. I can't wait for her to teach me how to fight. Okay. Give me some of that hot-headedness and that passion. You show up as the Queen of Wands with the Princess of Wands as a clarifier. Queen of Wands is here in reverse because you do need a minute, many of you, right? Because yeah, you're great fighters, but some of you are still immature. And this is what I said, I think I said this to you last month. There is a concept in which if we fight in certain ways, it amounts to war crimes, right? With no honor, with no integrity, with no code. And right now it's saying that you could be driven to foolish and impetuous decisions purely because of impulse, right? Or because you're mad. So it's like allowing your fire energy to govern you rather than you governing it. So you need to take a beat before you can really step up as a teacher, as a I don't know what you call people who train people to fight in certain orders. I don't know. As you become one of those things, you need to actually mature yourself. That's why I said you're going through this process of spiritual maturity. You're going from princess to queen so that you know that you have a certain level of rulership, and when it's time to fight, you fight, and when it's time to lead, you lead, and when it's time to heal, particularly with Queen of Wands, you do that too. And a warrior and a fighter must also know medicine. They must know both, right? You need both or you die on the battlefield. So that's what you're learning, how not to just be impetuous, but also how to heal once the battle has happened, once the conflict has happened. How do you mend wounds? How do you reconcile? How do you bring people back together? That's your work. So really right now, I'm going to clarify, because you've got the Two of Pentacles here and you do have the Sun card. So really there's just the energy of kind of Leo and Capricorn that are flagging you right now. By flagging you, I mean walking next to you as like key lessons, key energies that are critical to the next level. But I just want to understand, Spirit, why this Two of Pentacles is in reverse. Okay. Five of Pentacles. Interesting. Get one more. Okay, ended up with three more, no worries. We get intuition, which we've talked about, High Priestess. Five of Swords, the conflict card. I've been talking about this so much. Every reading is here, twice, look at it. And Three of Wands, which is also an Aries card, right? So the bringing together of the whole self. Okay. So Two of Pentacles, how it's reading to me is that you've been unsure about your purpose in the world. You've been unsure about where you fit. You've been unsure about kind of what to do with yourself. And it maybe has been generating some energy of poverty, because if you're not generating, if you're not giving your time and your energy to producing, then you get the energy of lack. So you might have just been feeling like either like left out in the cold, or I don't know what's happening, or just like a sense of like confusion. Wow, we're at 18 minutes. I need to wrap this up. We only need 2 parts. We don't need 3. But there is now illumination, understanding coming to you about your role. And it is this. It's using the intuition to teach people how to fight properly in order to integrate the different aspects of themselves, okay? Their spiritual self, their physical self, every self that there is. Aries. If you know you're on that spiritual path and you're ready to get to this work, come see me. Come for a reading. I don't have much availability, very, very limited for video calls, but I can do MP3, NicoleBlack.com/shop. I've also got Astro Mixer, 21st of this month, Friday, at the Curtin Hotel. Come through, come teach the signs what's what. Plus it's a competition and we know you're mad competitive. Fire signs haven't won, only water signs, so you might want to push through and come and rep, okay? I hope to see you. I'm loving you lots and lots and lots, and I'm so grateful for the role that you're playing in our lives. Thank you, Aries. Ashe.